Folks, this is getting ridiculous. I recently learned that the algorithm has unsubscribed some people 2 or 3 times during the past few weeks. Why? It's because the growth of my channel is being throttled randomly. In other words, I gain 300 subscribers, they automatically subtract 270 subscribers randomly. That's the nearest thing I can figure out. And one of them can certainly be you. Don't believe me? Go into the comments sections of my last few videos and see for yourself. Seriously, I have channel members being unsubscribed. Channel members, it is ridiculous. Please check to make sure you're still subscribed, and if you aren't subscribed, please do so and hit the notification bell. We are in a war to stop the destruction of our culture here, but I cannot do it alone. Thank you for subscribing, and now, on to the video. My friends, I have loved Godzilla most of my life. I was hooked as a kid when I saw Destroy All Monsters, which blew my mind and made me an instant fan. Monsters, aliens, flying saucers, and more monsters. It was so much fun, so full of cool stuff. I was absolutely blown away, and to this day, Destroy All Monsters remains one of my personal favorite movies. That said, I have seen Godzilla Minus One, and I must tell you right off the bat, it is outstanding. I have not seen every Godzilla movie, so this is not intended to be a definitive statement of fact, but rather of opinion, an opinion I'll try my best to clarify in this review, but in my personal experience, this is one of the greatest Godzilla movies I have ever seen, and one of the best movies I've seen in years. Folks, in this review, I'm not going to give any spoilers beyond what you might see in a press release or a general review, so don't be afraid to watch this. It won't spoil anything for you, and if anything, I hope that this review encourages people to drop what they're doing, get their asses into theater seats, and go watch Godzilla Minus One. Not simply because it's excellent in every conceivable way, but also because this movie is not woke at all. It doesn't worry about diversity, and it damn well shouldn't since it's set entirely in Japan during World War II, and there wasn't a lot of diversity in Japan back then. In Godzilla Minus One, you won't see some know-it-all feminist piece of shit talking down to a man simply because he's a man. In this movie, the person hardest on the leading man is, surprise, surprise, the leading man himself, as this is a story of a man facing up to his failures and doing his best in heroic fashion to atone and to redeem himself. There are no politics in this movie whatsoever. This is a movie devoted to these characters, and that's a very strange thing for a Godzilla movie because let's face it, Godzilla movies are all about Godzilla, and fleshing out the human characters has never been much of a priority for Godzilla movies until now. I must tell you, this is the first time I've ever actually cared about any of the humans in a Godzilla movie. Usually, I want them all to get stomped, burned, and eaten. I'm always in Godzilla's corner, rooting for maximum destruction and mayhem, but in this one, the writing is so damn good, I actually came to care about the people.
Hey man, I'm completely and totally always hoping that Godzilla will destroy every single cast member, city, car, and small child's balloon in sight. To hell with the people! Stomp, stomp, and stomp again. To me, this Godzilla movie is sounding like crap if it makes you care about the people, who should be nothing more to Godzilla than Dr. Scholl's foot pads for his aching footsies.
Hey, believe me, I hear you, Harvey Cthulhu, but this movie manages to do both things well. It makes us care about the people, and it gives us a ringside seat for some world-class Godzilla Rampages, which are spectacular, and I'll get to them in a minute. Now, there's something to what you said, Harvey. The fact that they humanize the characters may be a drawback for some who are maniacally minded, because they do spend a goodly amount of time away from Godzilla in this movie, doing character development. This may frustrate some fans who prioritize destruction over drama, and I completely respect and sympathize with that sentiment, but my experience during the character moments was actually this. Caring about the human characters really enhanced the tension during the gorgeous and beautifully executed monster rampages. The conflict setup is one of honor and survivor's guilt when a kamikaze pilot's suicide mission towards the end of World War II is interrupted by one of Godzilla's rampages. I won't give any spoilers, but the main character is haunted by his actions the night of that rampage, and this story follows him as he struggles with his memories of that fateful encounter with a monster. I will say no more than that. This movie is spread out over a number of years and a number of rampages, but I was never bored. In fact, because I could identify as much with the people as I did with Godzilla, it really heightened the excitement and tension of the rampages. I swear to God, people, if you'd asked me, should we focus more on the human characters in a Godzilla movie, I would have said, hell no, do not do that. We don't want to see that stuff. And yet, this movie made a believer out of me. I hope that moving forward, they will hit the balance between monster and human as well as they did here in Godzilla Minus One. Okay, and now we come to the important part of the review. How are the effects? How good or bad was Godzilla himself? My friends, when it comes to kaiju movies, I am no pushover. I hated Godzilla King of the Monsters because it violated my 3 rules for successful kaiju movies. Similarly, I despised with all my heart the execrable Pacific Rim, a piece of complete and total shit that in my book utterly failed to meet my criteria for a successful kaiju movie. And what are those criteria? Let me explain. 1. The movie must show the giant monster in good lighting, not at night, not in the rain. 2. The movie must show the giant monster in extended shots, not in quick cuts showing close-ups of body parts and other cost-saving bullshit, in order to allow us to bask in the glorious spectacle of the monster himself and the destruction he will unleash. 3. The movie must show the giant monster in steady shots of good duration, not cheap-ass garbage shaky cam designed to artificially generate the excitement of seeing a giant monster without actually showing a giant monster. Now, Kong Skull Island and Godzilla vs. Kong were both pretty good movies. I enjoyed them quite a bit, but Godzilla Minus One, it stands alone in its own class. There is an authenticity and sincerity about the visuals in Godzilla Minus One that has been lacking in recent Godzilla movies, and why is that? Godzilla is not CGI in this movie. Godzilla is entirely a practical effect. Once again, Godzilla returns to his roots as a guy in a suit. Now granted, this suit is incredibly elaborate. I suspect it must have some animatronic elements to it because of the way it moves, the eyes, the mouth. It's incredibly realistic and extremely effective. I mean, Godzilla is pretty damn scary in this one, but yeah, it's not CGI. It's a guy in a suit, and the results are spectacular. The miniature cities, boats, and aircraft in this are superbly detailed. Honestly, I've always wondered how these Japanese model builders can stand creating such astonishingly detailed miniatures, true works of art, only to have Godzilla obliterate them in a single take. The scenes of destruction in this movie, holy shit. I swear, I don't think I've ever seen such nuanced details in models. When Godzilla destroys them, they fly apart so damn realistically, sometimes it felt like I could see individual bricks flying through the air. No idea how they accomplished this, but somehow they made a guy in a suit smashing model cities every bit as detailed as CGI, but somehow much better than CGI. Scenes of Godzilla swimming with his head above the waves engaging in nautical mayhem are they're just jaw-dropping and unnerving. All in all, my friends, this was the best movie experience I've had in a theater in many years, and this is absolutely one of the best damn Godzilla movies I have ever seen. Great sound, great picture, great reasons to go out and see this in a theater, because I assure you it'll never be as good on TV. Go see Godzilla Minus One in a theater with a hell of a sound system, and you will be glad you did. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.